The loan officer sounded bored in the way people do when they expect nothing unusual to happen. She said she was calling to verify assets listed on an application. Routine. A checkbox voice. I was standing in the kitchen, phone pressed between my shoulder and ear, watching the kettle start to tremble. I almost told her she had the wrong number. Then she read the first address. It wasn't dramatic. Just a street name, a city, a zip code. The duplex with a leaky second-floor radiator. The one where I'd learned how to sweat copper pipe because hiring a plumber every time would have eaten the margins alive. I said nothing. She read the second property, then the third, then the fourth. By the time she finished, my hand had gone still on the counter. The kettle clicked off. Steam fogged the window. The moment stretched longer than it should have, long enough for her to ask if I was still there. "I am," I said. My voice sounded fine, calm, reflective even. That surprised me. She explained that my father-in-law had listed 4 rental properties valued at approximately $1.2 million as part of a loan application. $200,000 requested. Expansion capital, she said. Improvements. Standard language. Those were my properties. I'd bought the first one 6 years earlier, scraping together a down payment from savings and a small inheritance my own father had left me. I'd lived in one unit, rented the other, learned the math the hard way. The others came slowly after that. No windfall, just time, risk, and an embarrassing number of YouTube tutorials watched at 1.25 speed after midnight. My father-in-law had never been on a deed, never signed a mortgage, never fixed a toilet at 2 in the morning because a tenant's kid flushed something that wasn't meant to be flushed. He had, however, been very good at reframing things at dinner. Family helps family, he liked to say, whenever the conversation drifted toward money. When I corrected him, gently explained ownership, liability, he would wave a hand. "You're young, you'll see. What's mine is yours. What's yours is flexible." At the time I'd laughed. Laughed because challenging him felt impolite. Laughed because my spouse would squeeze my knee under the table. A silent, "Please, don't start something, look." On the phone, the loan officer waited. My first instinct was to protect the room I wasn't in, to imagine the holidays ahead, to soften the edges of the truth so no one would have to rearrange their version of me. The agreeable son-in-law, the quiet one who handled things. There was a version of this where I said nothing, where I let the system assume what he wanted it to assume, where his risk became my problem later, quietly, invisibly. I thought about the insurance policies in my name, the loans I was personally guaranteeing, the thin margins that looked healthy only if nothing went wrong. I thought about how easily ownership had been spoken over, recast as something communal when it benefited him, individual when it carried responsibility. "I need to clarify something," I said. The sentence felt clean when it left my mouth. No heat in it, no accusation. "Those properties are not his," I said. "They're mine." There was a pause, a real one this time. She asked me to repeat myself. I did. She asked how long I'd owned them. I told her. She asked if I had documentation. I said yes. I offered to email the deeds. The rest of the call shifted without fanfare, but unmistakably. Her tone changed, still professional but sharper, more precise. She stopped using conditional language. She thanked me. She said the application would be flagged for review. She said someone might follow up. When I hung up, the kitchen felt too quiet. Not peaceful, just empty of the tension that had been doing background work for years. I sent the documents. PDFs I'd opened 100 times before. Names, dates, signatures. The authority of ink and record, indifferent to family narratives. My father-in-law called that evening. He didn't yell. He didn't apologize either. He spoke as if there had been a misunderstanding, as if facts were weather events no one controlled. "You could have talked to me first," he said. "I could have," I agreed. He waited for something else, an explanation, a justification, a hint of regret. I gave him none. We still see each other. Less often now. When we do, the conversation stays on safe ground. Weather, traffic, mutual acquaintances. He no longer jokes about assets. I no longer correct him. There was no victory dinner, No speech, just a recalibration. What I gained wasn't dominance, it was alignment. My name matched my risk again. My silence no longer carried someone else's ambition. Sometimes I miss the version of myself who thought loyalty meant absorption. But I don't miss the quiet erosion that came with it. The properties still need work. Tenants still call. The math still matters. So does the line I drew, thin, factual, and finally visible.